Hi, I'm here to talk about blocked vision. The title of this is You're Not Blocked. You're just, your vision is blocked, and that is nothing to judge yourself for, nothing to blame yourself for. And sometimes when that happens, we kind of scramble to try to figure it out. Um, Okay. I say that in quotes because generally, when we're trying to figure it out in our mind is overwhelmed and overloaded. Okay. So there's several reasons, and that's one of them, several reasons of why your vision is blocked. And it would be one is overthinking, like kind of a mental overstimulated overload, an emotional buildup where that feels overloaded and you haven't expressed some of the emotions, or just often it's an external pressure. We have so many demands on us in our day-to-day life, and it feels like they've increased, especially over the last couple of years. And so we might be having unrealistic expectations of how much we can process and how much we can take. So um, it's definitely time for a reset. Um, and I'm just going to say the same things that I always do. Any of the practices that you do, I always suggest do it more, even if it's like 5 minutes more. But the reality is this, like clarity doesn't come from forcing the answers or figuring it out. I mean, sometimes we do, we have a brain and we figure out problems and those solutions, but sometimes the deeper vision and like the kind of knowingness and alignment and our trajectory to move forward is we have to create space for that. And that means space in the mind, space in our energetic body, space in our energetic bodies, our aura. And that takes a little bit of practice. So um, I know that there's several ways that you can do this, and I do breath work, which is one of them, and I am having a free breath work on the Insight Timer app on Friday. And Friday is numerologically the number 8. And numerologically this week is the number 6. So 6 is the number of your vision, of your third eye. And 8 is the number of like power, authority, abundance. So it's also like a karmic number, meaning like it can break through the blocks. So we're going to be doing a segmented breath, which whenever we use a segmented breath, it helps to stimulate, kind of jumpstart our pituitary gland, our glandular system, and so that on a physiological level, we can like open that third eye and open our vision. I do just want to note that that sometimes, this is from a personal experience, sometimes we're blocked for a reason that we don't know. And what I discovered as I allowed the discomfort of feeling lost and not knowing which direction or steps to take forward, there were lessons I needed to learn or insights that I needed to be aware of in order to move forward. And I couldn't have done that unless I had the time and unless I was willing to be in the uncomfortable place of not knowing. And I know how uncomfortable it is. I know how unfun it is. And yet, I also discovered that the less you resist that place, the faster it can move through, like the clouds kind of pass. And and you gain clarity. And I do want to say, in these like really highly charged energetic times, it's just a lot for us to process. So being hard on yourself, like I mentioned earlier, and having unrealistic expectations of how much you can do or ideas of where you're supposed to be, really want to kind of drop those, and so that you can be present. I do know, I will add one more thing, that I do know when I was in this non-clarity space, that it didn't happen all at once. So sometimes it's not like you're in a clouded, confused place and then you're just going to get the whole vision download and you know exactly what you need to do. Sometimes it was a step by step, like I needed to let go of something and the block actually was trying to move me in a different direction. So the clouded vision was trying to redirect my course, and I was so focused on that course, but as I allowed to let go and open my mind to something else, I could take steps forward, still unclear if that was the direction I was going to go, until clarity became, I want to say restored, but that sounds really cheesy, until eventually I had more clarity. And I had to kind of keep, it was almost like in the dark, like I'm brailing around in the dark. So I just give you a lot of scenarios. There's a full spectrum of this. And honestly, I just want to reassure you that you will become clear. And actually, when you learn to trust the process, you're going to be much happier. And your actions are going to feel much more aligned and fulfilled. Okay, I think I've said enough on this. I will speak to you soon.